5. Okay, well, it's a little better, but we're still having a problem because you're leaning the burr distally a lot. See that? You're leaning the burr into the adjacent tooth and your pulpal floor is sloping a lot. So you had the burr leaning distally like this for the whole time. That's because you're trying to look vertically down the axis. Can't be done. Nobody can do it. And of course, if you go deeper gingivally with the burr at this angle, you're going to damage the adjacent tooth even more. But again, you know, if we want to fix it, we change the margin, change the angle, get the length, make the corner, drill a hole, cut away from that wall. But notice the way I'm looking, I know how close I am to the adjacent tooth. I know how deep I am axially, I know how close I am to the adjacent tooth. I can get rid of the excess along the wall here. And get rid of the excess in here. Look how close I am to the adjacent tooth, and I know I'm not hitting it. So that's the direction you have to look. Okay, so over here you have an obtuse angle here. Even for composite, that's more obtuse than it should be. Over here, you have to flatten that wall. So let's move the margin out facially a little bit more and make a nice flat wall coming in. And then adjust the angle until it's obtuse. That's a little bit obtuse. Then find the corner here, and then find the corner over here. And that's where we put the corners to make the axial so that we can get some gingival clearance. But again, don't look down vertically. Can't be done. Look this way so you know how close you are to the adjacent tooth and you know how deep you are axially. And of course, look this way so your isthmus isn't so wide. Look this way so you know exactly where you are relative to the marginal ridge. And you can also see how tall that wall is. Okay, so go ahead and see if you can go farther gingivally there. Get some clearance. Okay, so for 5, still haven't quite got enough gingival clearance, but there's a little excess down there.
That one.
Oh, okay. So if I go ahead and remove that excess, again, notice the direction I'm looking. I'm looking so I'm seeing exactly how close I am to the adjacent tooth. Now I still don't have enough clearance, so of course I just go ahead and repeat the 7 steps. Drill a hole at each wall, cut away from each wall, get rid of the excess. But again, notice I can see how close I am to the adjacent tooth. There's my gingival clearance. There's a new axial wall. Okay? Alright, so for here, you need a little more clearance lingually. And then make an obtuse exit angle. Now over here, let's get rid of the excess. All the way to the margin so we can see what angle you have. Okay, so that's a little bit obtuse. You got a short wall right here. So that probably means that pulpally, you're a little underextended in this area. But, you know, we're in pretty good shape now. Now you got the mesial pit's still there. See the white spot right there?
Yeah.
That's the pit. Lean the burr toward the marginal ridge. Look the way I am. Then you can see where you are relative to the pit and the top of the marginal ridge. That's where the dovetail should have been. Now when you go gingivally, again, drill a hole, cut away from that wall, drill a hole here, cut away from this wall. Get rid of the excess and keep repeating that until you get gingival clearance, and don't look down the axis or you're going to hit the adjacent tooth like this. Look this way so you'll never lean the burr that way. Okay? Okay, so 5 we pretty much finished up. You got a little bit of retentive grooves in there.
Yeah,
that's not too far off. Yeah. Okay, so got a lot of damage on the adjacent tooth on 12.
Again, yeah.
So again, we want to make sure you never try to look down the axis.
Yeah.
So if you look this way, you're always going to damage the adjacent tooth. If you look this way, you'll never damage the adjacent tooth because you can see if you are.
Okay.
Cool, huh?
Okay.
Now let's go a little bit farther gingivally. Let's make this walls a little flatter. Once you find the margin, cut straight in, adjust the angle.
Okay.
For whatever you want. In this case, make it a little bit obtuse.
Okay.
Then find the corner. Then get rid of the excess along that wall. And again, we want nice obtuse angles flat walls, obtuse. Find the corner, get away from this wall, find the corner here, get away from this wall. So there's our axial. Now get rid of the excess and you'll have a little more gingival clearance.
Okay.
And then you're a little short right here, huh?
Yeah.
So don't even get close to the adjacent tooth until you have the wall height that you want right here, so you know that the pulpal floor is in the right position.
Okay.
So I'm looking parallel to the contact, downward at a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
I can make it easier if I were to turn the patient to the right, and then it's even easier.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But again, I'm seeing what I need to see. Now get rid of the excess on the facial, lingual, and the gingival,
Okay.
and you'll have some clearance. And I'll show you later how to make a bevel. Okay. So 5. Okay. Did you use a hand instrument here? Maybe you did a little bit on the facial. It's hard to tell.
Yes.
I don't see a sharp internal line angle. I see a little bit of an angulation on your gingival floor, but not much. Anyway, that's something. 12. Now, of course, you killed the marginal ridge.
Yes. That's.
So make sure you look this way so you know you're leaning the burr toward the marginal ridge, not away from it.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, got to look along the marginal ridge. So, okay, too much clearance. You're a little bit obtuse here. So for composite, that's okay. Over on the facial side, you don't have a flat wall. You got a pretty big hook there. So let's go back to the margin and then cut straight in. So just cut straight in away from the margin and cut far enough in so it's beyond where you want to put the corner. Then we can find the corner more easily. Right about here. And then the axial is going to have a better shape. On the lingual side, I would have put the corner about right here. On the buccal side, about right here, and then cut away from each side. Then you get the shape of the axial wall. And then, so you got pretty deep axially right in there. Then all you have to do now is get rid of the excess. Now you've been doing some damage on the adjacent tooth. So if you're looking the way I am, parallel to the contact and downward at a 45-degree angle, you can see how deep you are axially, you can see how close you are to the adjacent tooth. That's how close I can work to the adjacent tooth, and I'm confident I'm not damaging it, because if I were, I'd see it. So now we got a little gingival clearance. Now for composite class 2, by the way, is everybody still here? I'm going to show you how to make the gingival bevel now. So for composite class 2, that's about the right amount of clearance for making the bevel. But we want to have nice flat walls, facially and lingually. Then put the burr against this wall, cut gingivally right at that wall. Lean the burr toward the axis. Cut down the lingual wall. I'm going to get rid of that step a little bit, but down the lingual wall and then away from the lingual wall toward the middle. So there's the bevel from there to there. And then we're going to put the burr against the facial wall. Cut gingivally down the facial wall into the gingival margin at the facial wall. And then cut away toward the middle. Okay, so now we have a uniform bevel from the facial wall all the way to the lingual wall. That's all we need.